Brought to you by Penguin.
House of Monstrous Women by Daphne Fama. Read by Jensen, Olaya.
To my mother, without you this book wouldn't exist. To Harry Milton, thank you for believing in me. To my father, who passed on his love of words. And to you, I dreamt of you, and here you are. 1. February 23rd, 1986. 25 years in Carigara, and yet she still felt like a stranger in the plaza where she'd grown up. Women, who should have been her friends, leaned together, their eyes bright, their lips the same shade of rose red, given bloom by the communal lipsticks they'd swapped multiple times a day. Dirt-streaked children ran circles around one another. Men rolled dice on the street, throwing down coins as they made bets. But all of them were watching her. She could see the way their dark eyes flitted to their peripheries, glancing at her again and again. She could almost see their mouths shaping around her name. Josephine del Rosario. The daughter of dissidents. A political orphan. The heir to a crumbling house and a legacy of blood. Perhaps even worse than all that. A spinster in her mid-20s. She was so sick of it. The same rumors floated over the courtyard walls into her house, month after month, year after year. Even the maids she'd grown up with, girls she'd always thought of as practically family, had started to speak with low, husky whispers, as if they were afraid their voices would carry in the dark Del Rosario halls and worm their way into Josephine's ears. But not once had anyone ever had the spine to say a word to her about it. Everyone in town seemed hell-bent on pretending she didn't exist at all. But today, they were having a hard time of it, and Josephine smiled bitterly. She sat alone on the concrete bench of the jeepney stop, her long hair pulled back into a low bun, made shiny with coconut oil. Her father's old suitcase sat beside her, and she wore her mother's clothes. An ostentatious dress with bell-like sleeves and a long skirt made of muslin dyed a subdued emerald. A decade out of fashion and a little too over the top for a ride deep into the countryside. She could almost hear the wheels in their heads turning as they tried to find out where she was going. It was rare for her to leave the Del Rosario house unguarded. And with her brother in Manila, she didn't have a single person to chaperone her out of town. Her gaze skipped over the plaza, across the women slowly turning pork on iron skewers in market stalls, filling the air with the scent of sizzling meat. It was a smart business tactic to set up shop close to jeepney stops, when jeepneys were perpetually late and timetables were only vague promises. Plastic chairs scraped across the concrete nearby, and she glanced to her side to see the mayor of Carigara, flanked by his sons, settle at a white table only a few yards away. Eduardo Reyes held her stare as he leaned back in his chair, its plastic groaning, a satisfied smirk creeping across his wet lips. The women at the stall rushed to put sweating glass bottles of San Miguel beer in front of him and his boys, popping their metal caps before rushing off to fetch a fistful of pork skewers. A decade's worth of nightmares crept into Josephine's throat, but she refused to be the first to blink.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?